What is up? Hambone here, and today's commentary is on a very ironic topic considering that the map that we are looking at is actually my least favorite map in the game. But I figured since I did happen to have one good game on this map, I would post it up and just get it out of the way because you'll probably never see another game on this map ever again because for whatever reason, when playing this map, it's just the curse of high school. I always do bad. I don't know why, but it's just really hard for me to do bad. And it's probably because I haven't played it that much because I don't like playing it in the first place. So, today's topic is what is your favorite map and why? I'm also going to be going over what makes a good map in my opinion on this game. Now, the first thing that I think that makes a good map in this game is spawn symmetry. When a map is symmetrical with the spawns lining up. And by that, what I mean is, if you were to take a map, cut it right down the middle, right in the center between the two spawn points, then when you the map on top of each other, like a piece of paper folding the two edges together, that the spawns would line up together perfectly, and for the most part, the map would line up almost equally in terms of layout and stuff like that. Maybe there would be a couple pieces of cover laid out differently on each side just to change it up so it wouldn't be just like a straight up standstill, so no team would be able to push forward or anything. But laid perfectly across each other. I love maps when they're symmetrical down the spawns, or with symmetry in regards to the spawn. That's the first thing that I think makes a good map. The next thing is when the spawns aren't too far away from the middle. Now in this game, what I mean by the spawns not being too far away from the middle is the spawns themselves need to be equally able to both get to the same supply points at the same amount of speed. And so let's say there's a supply point, there's two supply points in the middle. If to get to one supply point it takes one team 10 seconds, and to get the other supply point takes that team 12 seconds, it should take the other team 10 seconds to get to that supply point and 12 seconds to get to the other. That's the amount of time it should take to get to both of the supply points for both teams, and I love it when maps are distanced like that. It goes back into the symmetry thing itself, but that more or less has to do more with supply point placement on the map itself more than symmetry of the map, which I love it when, on this game in particular, when the supply points are laid out like that so it's equal for both teams. It usually ends up with both teams getting there and having a firefight for the supply point a lot of the time. Sometimes, one team will go one way, one team will go the other, and nothing happens, but I love it when both teams have an equal chance of getting a supply point. The next thing is, I love it when maps have good amounts of cover. And what is a good amount of cover? Well, in most of these maps, I will say every map has good amount of cover. It's pretty obvious this game is cover based, and if you were just running around with no cover, you'd probably get shot to death. But a map can have too much cover, in the fact that it would slow the game pace down of the map a lot. This would then cause the map itself to slow down, but if you have open areas, you can cause people to run out, or maybe run into bad players who like to run out a lot, or just over aggressive players who like to run out, and you can take advantage of that. I think that makes a good map when you have a good mix of cover and open areas. And this leads me to the title of the video, which is favorite map. And my favorite map is Dam. I think that it encompasses everything that I just said. I'm going to say it's the most symmetrical map in the game. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is. In fact, I'm positive it is. I can't think of any map that has more symmetry than that map. The spawn points seem almost equal in their distances to the two supply points in the middle, because I know it'll take me the same amount of time from both sides. It doesn't matter getting to the hydraulic supply point, and it'll take me the same amount of time getting to the river supply point. And it'll usually end with some pretty good firefights as long as both teams get there at the same time. Maybe one team was just lagging behind because they didn't know which way they wanted to go or something like that. But usually when both teams get there at the same time, it's usually a pretty good firefight, pretty entertaining. Now, I'm going to get into reasons why I don't like high school and why I think it's a bad map. I don't think it's that symmetrical. I wouldn't say it's completely asymmetrical, as in it's not symmetric at all, but it's not that symmetric. Um, I feel like if you were to flip the spawns on one another, that if you were to look at it, like I'm betting that one spawn would have a much farther distance to go to get to what would be the center of the map at that point, of what would be considered the center of this map, which is more or less the center of that classroom. Um, on this map, if you spawn on gym side, I feel that you're at a disadvantage. Simply because when you spawn library, you have a much quicker time getting to the upstairs supply point, which on the screen at your time is to the left of you, to the left of my character down that hallway a little bit, and then the other supply point, which is out at buses, you can get to that fairly quickly, or at least quicker than the gym side can get to the up there spawn from their side. So you could get to that and cover it before the gym people even have a chance to open the box. Whereas if you spawn gym side, you have almost no chance of getting to the upstairs supply box to cover it. And I think they tried to make it even enough to where like gym side did have the bus spawn supply box, and library side did have the upstairs supply box, but they ended up just distancing or making the spawns weird enough to where one side had a clear advantage, and that's the library side. I'm not a huge fan of that on this map, but the one thing I will say they did do a fairly decent job of is cover in this map. I will say they probably should have put a little bit more cover in. I think it's a little bit too open, but regardless, I still think that they did a fairly decent job of that. But now that I've gotten high school out of the way, I want to quickly go into what I want to see in DLC type maps when that comes out, which I'm going to be doing an entire video over this later, over what I think they could do. But just as far as like examples, I don't want to see any more maps like high school. I want to see maps like Dam. I would love to see, just literally take Dam, reskin it to look like something else. That would be the perfect DLC map in my opinion. Um, but just for example of what I don't want to see, and I don't think they'll do it, I think they're too smart for that, is that I don't want to see a map that resembles Escalation on the game Gears of War. For you that have never played the game Gears of War, there's a map called Escalation. It was literally a staircase. That's what it was. It was a staircase going up from the bottom to the top. And what made that map fair on Gears of War was that they gave you sniper rifles at the bottom, because spawn power weapons in that game were given to you not from your loadout, but from picking them up in the game. Whereas in this game, if they were to do a map that was like Escalation, that was just a bunch of stairs, it would be quite unfair to one team because of how the map is set up. But that's a little bit off topic, simply because this is something I had going through my head and what I didn't want to see in a DLC map. And I just remembered that map from Gears of War and how I just didn't like it at all for the most part. But as far as locations are concerned, I think it'd be really cool if they gave us a Firefly Lab level. That'd be pretty cool, because I know they haven't done that yet. They should do one that's more or less Boston, like not like Checkpoint or anything like that, but like actual Boston, like in like apartment buildings and stuff like that. I think that would be a really neat map. But enough of me rambling on about something that isn't even announced yet. Go ahead and tell me, what's your favorite map on the game. Go ahead and tell me why you like that map. Do you like it because of the reasons I suggest, or you just like it because of the styling of the map? Because of, maybe you like snow maps, maybe you like Lakeside simply because it's a snow map. I don't know, just questioning. And then also give me your least favorite map and why you don't like it, because I want to know if everyone else hates high school like me, or maybe it's just me just not liking high school. I don't know. Go ahead and tell me. But as usual, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you like The Last of Us multiplayer content, be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I try to post The Last of Us multiplayer content almost every day. In particular, I will be posting another strategies video tomorrow, that will be going over strafing. So be on the lookout for that. But I hope you have a great rest of your day.